Hello everyone and welcome back to the 24-25 Optegra Championship, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, and Owen Swift for AFC Bournemouth Warriors versus GBG Knights. Let's go through the squads and then bring you the action live, starting with the designated home team, a very thin squad of four: Adam Sevenoaks, Dakota Hannam, Ryan Skinner, Roxy Berry. They're coached by Sam Hicks, without Chris King this weekend, which is a big blow. One of their standout performers. They're currently bottom of the 12-team division. Their opposition currently top of the table. GBG Knights have been fairly faultless all season. They're comprised of Reese Mallet, Kai Shah, Oscar Smedley, George Holloway and Jack Ewins. They're coached by Kai Shah. Already had the pleasure of commentating on GBG Knights this morning. They came from a goal down against Sale United to secure 3 points, so they'll be looking to build on that in this one and will be by and far the favourites. Owen, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad at all. Enjoying some fantastic football. It has been absolutely brilliant.
I'm looking forward to this one. Hoping Bournemouth can build on what was a great little game earlier against Man U.
Yeah, I mean, whilst it ended 4-0, it did take
over a half.
Yeah, Manchester United couldn't break the deadlock in the first 20. Just for reference, currently live on Court A, Muscle Warriors are taking on Nottingham Forest. So we're going to have a similar dynamic to that of which we had at the start of the day. GBG Knights playing at the same time as Muscle Warriors. So we'll be going to and from as to who's currently topping the table. Should they match one another's results, GBG Knights with the far superior goal difference, and when I say superior, I really mean it, plus 36, and Muscle Warriors on plus 20, so 16 goals better off than their close title rivals. Whilst they're just getting the coin flip done, I'll bring up the live league standings for your reference. Please factor into that Muscle Warriors are currently live, and that takes into consideration the 0-0 scoreline against Nottingham Forest, but it just shows how close it is and also how compelling that race for third is, with Manchester United, Leeds Dynamos, Teesside Steel and Villa Rockets Lions just 3 points from one another. So whilst we're of course going to be drawn to the race for the title, that third place playoff race could be just as significant, and I say that because even when we're referencing the third place playoff of 23-24, we saw the championship team in Norwich City defeat Nomad Knights, the Premiership team. So there is a real opportunity with the gap between Premiership and Championship getting smaller and smaller. GBG Knights straight on the front foot, looking to inflict early damage.
First time that's been done, I believe, is it? The championship.
The first time it's been done in 11 seasons from that one, so it shows just how significant a result that was for Norwich, but it shows it is possible. Kai Shah into the box, cleared by Ryan Skinner. Let's go through the team lineups quickly. You've got Dakota Hannam, Ryan Skinner, Roxy Berry and Adam Sevenoaks for AFC Bournemouth Warriors. And for GBG Knights, they have Jack Ewins as the designated goalkeeper, Kai Shah, Reese Mallet and current league top goal scorer George Holloway. Kai Shah looks as if he's just been told to calm down slightly from our referee Lee Brennan, and that's very early on, only a minute or so into the game, so one to watch He's a very fiery, hot-headed player, and I mean that in the best way possible. It aids his games and his type of football brilliantly.
Passionate, I think.
I think passionate is the perfect word to toe the line and not cause offence. But Kai, as those who will know him will know, that he is a fiery player, and that's what makes him so effective. Arguably one of the most technically proficient players in the division, and the reason they are where they are at the top of the table is because of his performances.
Well, it comes with experience as well, doesn't it? He's been playing the game at a high level for a lot of it, so that's all helps in the long run.
Just retrieving the ball, which rolled onto court A. George Holloway to take into the box, over to Reece Mallet, lines up the shot, fires it towards goal. Dakota Hannam clears the initial opportunity. 2-on-1 in favour of GBG Knights. Fairly relentless in the opening few minutes. It's going to be a long game for AFC Bournemouth Warriors. Jack Ewins to take, indirect. Will he look to Reece Mallet? Will he look to George Holloway? Goes for the former. Couldn't quite get the angle. It's a frustrating decision. He never quite had the angle to capitalise. So I think George Holloway would have been the better of the two options.
I think once Reece got in that position, though, it's hard because you don't want to give away 2-on-1 if George Holloway goes for it. And Reece Mallet can't get out the way. And we know Lee Brennan's quite hot on them decisions. He showed that only 4 minutes in. He's done well to keep it in there.
George Holloway couldn't quite get the angle.
Adam just did well to get a little nudge on that there to take it away from where Reece Mallet was aiming.
We're talking about the title race in the Optegra Championship. Naturally, everyone's attention will be drawn towards the fixture tomorrow between first and second. GBG Knights versus Muscle Warriors. Should, and it's a big should, because nothing is a formality in this division. They both maintain faultless records prior to that game. It will be one of the most intriguing matchups that the Championship has seen in a long time. Both have identical records.
You made me want to stay for tomorrow now. Might have to find
well, I haven't got a I haven't got a co-commentator for it yet.
Whoa. So if I didn't have my dog with me in the van, I'd have found a last-minute deal.
I appreciate you being here, even if it's just for today. And the same applies to Dylan Palmer, currently calling the action on court A as Kai Shah fires it goal bound. A really easy finish for GBG Knights.
Unfortunate.
Dakota Hannam just not able to limit that gap quick enough. Jack Ewins will be the provider.
Seeing that more and more goalkeepers in the Championship getting involved in set pieces. It's a tactic that originated when Alistair Haig was at Leeds.
Yeah.
They used to get Al involved in a lot of corners, sidelines, etc. But now it's making a comeback.
It's one thing that's been so prevalent so far this weekend, the amount of set-piece goals we've seen. 2 from Teesside earlier. We had 2 in the Leeds Dynamos versus Hull and East Yorkshire game. GBG Knights capitalised earlier through set pieces. So it just shows how significant that is for the dynamic of power chair football matches, and how when capitalised on and done correctly, they can
be so important.
but they'll be the difference between winning and losing.
Again, goalkeeper taking the set piece.
Yeah, interesting to see who they go for. All players committing forward. So George Holloway just drops back. Kai Shah going to take position in the centre. Will he be the screen for Reece Mallet?
He is.
That was the intention. I think the slight angling and deflection of Kai Shah's chair took it out of Reece Mallet's path. Adam Sevenoaks to take into Dakota Hannam. Nice assured pass back to Sevenoaks, but cut out by George Holloway. You see confirmation of Muscle Warriors. 1 goal advantage on court A. So both will be locked on 31 points apiece from their 11 games, which is pretty remarkable. Just a single draw for both. The only blemish on their records. And whilst it's down this side of the court, I can show you just the live league standings at the top. 31 points apiece. A very comfortable margin of 13 over Manchester United in third. So it's almost certainly going to be a 2-horse race for the championship crown. And a really unfortunate deflection off Dakota Hannam's chair there. Really unlucky for him. George Holloway will go down as the goal scorer.
Yeah, either way it was going in, but Dakota just couldn't quite get the chair positioned to block it going in. Really unfortunate one for Bournemouth.
AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 2.
And a substitution. Reece Mallet's made way.
Yeah, Oscar Smedley comes on. Fantastic debut season in the National League he's having. 15 assists he's got to his name, which, hopefully to put into perspective how significant that is 7 more than any other player in the division, that being Kai Shah. So, proving a real asset. Looks like he's going to take the central role currently. He's probably fluid between him and Kai Shah. But on the topic of stats, George Holloway now on 14 goals across the season. He'll be wanting that top goal scorer award come the end of the season. Oscar Smedley into the box, over to George Holloway. This time, brilliant work from Dakota Hannam.
Number 16 there.
Yeah. Nearly number 16 assists for Oscar Smedley and the 15th goal for George Holloway. Their link-up play has been brilliant. He switches sides here, Oscar Smedley. Kai Shah looks like he's the better of the two options, but goes for George Holloway as the closest. A potential break on for AFC Bournemouth Warriors. They're committing players forward, but Jack Ewins having the season of his life, just so calm, not fazed by being surrounded by the red and black stripes of AFC Bournemouth Warriors.
Did Ewins used to play for Bournemouth? Ewins
Yeah,
used to play, yeah.
Yeah, against his former side. He was playing with AFC Bournemouth Warriors last season.
I thought he did, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at his bumper and I'm thinking, I'm sure he used to play for Bournemouth, but maybe I'm wrong. But no.
Yeah.
That's why I'm confused when there's an attack for Bournemouth. I'm thinking, are they going the wrong way? But no. That's very well worked by Kaiser.
Oscar Smedley comes over to take. Kai Shah, George Holloway in support as always. Bypasses Shah over to Holloway. Smedley, nice, really beautiful pass that.
That will be cut out. 2-on-1.
Sadly, the 2-on-1 stops play, but just looking at that pass from Kai Shah speaks to what I was saying earlier about him being arguably the most technically proficient player in the whole division. He's got an opportunity here to switch play. Slightly square behind George Holloway. Would have liked that more advanced, but the attack's still live. Beautiful switch from Oscar Smedley, kept in by trapping the ball on that right-hand post.
He's going to get the flick. Well cut out by Ryan.
Smedley on the edge, lines up a shot, ricochets kindly for Ryan Skinner. Adam Sevenoaks can't quite usher it over to Roxy Berry. Been very isolated.
Ryan Skinner does well to get the better. 2 number 10s going at it in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Ryan Skinner a little overzealous in his pursuit of possession there. Just trapped the ball into the side of Oscar Smedley's chair. So GBG Knights come away with the direct free kick to be taken by Jack Ewins. Quickly at that, into Kai Shah, across the box. George Holloway not there to receive.
That first pass from Ewins had some venom on it. Send it over to Kai, but just very unlucky that George Holloway
I have to commend Kai's timing and connection with the ball.
Yeah, he did very well.
So brilliant. You'll
see that was a hard ball to get. Sorry.
No, just
hard ball to get to and get any connection to it.
You don't want to speak too soon because so much can happen within the space of a few weekends of National League football, but you have to say, based on what we've seen so far, Kai Shah will almost certainly be in consideration for Player of the Season, as will several other members of the GBG Knight squad. But just, there's been a lot of instability in and around the club. Obviously, they were Nomad Knights. They rebranded and refreshed with a lot of changes away from the court. And you can see that stability now, and how freshening things up and seeing a few players depart and a few players come in has made them a more solid unit, and he's absolutely integral to that as a player coach.
Well, we saw a few of the GBG Knights in the Championship playoff last year, which I thought were very, very unfortunate to not get past Forest and take the league place off them. But I'm very pleased that with the rebrand, it's meant that some of them deserved players, like Oscar Smedley.
Exactly that. I had that
still getting in the National League.
I had that conversation with him, as George Holloway's going to have an opportunity here. Ricochets just wide on that occasion. I had that conversation with Oscar Smedley.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed that GBG, some of the GBG players didn't get to represent their team, Saracens, when they got beat in the playoff. But I'm very pleased that the likes of Oscar Smedley still get to experience National League, because it is a short career for a lot of players, and when you're young, I think there's no time like the present. but to represent your sport. So I think it's good that the rebrand's happened, because mainly for me, looking as an outsider, it allows them players to experience National League football.
Yeah, completely. And Oscar Smedley is the beneficiary of that. And absolutely rightfully so. He's on 15 assists, which is unprecedented for a player competing in the National League for the first time.
This early in the season
Yeah,
as well.
but on that GBG Saracens squad, there were several that you thought, you can play National League football now. You have the ability. I'm not quite sure of the age of another one of their players, Avery Bazin-Ball. Very young, so would need dispensation to play within the National League, but another who I thought, irrelevant of your age, you are a really nice player, and the sky is the limit going forward. So hopefully there's a nice pool of talent underneath this GBG United squad that can feed it, whether that's in the regional leagues or the National League.
Well, that's what a stable club needs. It needs a plan B as well. It needs something to feed, because of the nature of the sport and everything. It's a lot of ins and outs of it. So if a team's got that, then they're definitely on to a winning way.
Another set piece for GBG Knights. Just set AFC Bournemouth Warriors away, but approaching the half-time break. FC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 2. Impressed with AFC Bournemouth Warriors. Despite 2 disappointing goals, they've been well structured, and that's aided their performance. I'll bring the live league standings at the half-time break.
Yeah, definitely, probably one of the best footballing sides in the league, and it's often what you need as a foundation of playing the next step, which is Premiership football, if GBG Knights were to get promoted.
It's looking like that will be almost a certainty.
We've seen it with Greenbank last year.
Yeah, they've found a nice little rhythm in the Premiership, haven't they? But you can't underestimate how much of an impact the acquisition of Marcus Harrison have had to that. And
it does help. What a goal.
Brilliant goal from Oscar Smedley there. Creator, turn scorer.
Yeah, just his natural instinct to whip his chair around there for the 180. Fantastic goal. Hit it between the 2 defenders as well.
Probably the last real action of the first half. AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 3. As GBG Knights not looking to settle on this 3-0 scoreline. They're looking to inflict further damage. Good placement from Roxy Berry there, just to prevent the full accurate spin from Kai Shah, but Lee Brennan blows the whistle for half-time. Thank you to all that are tuning in, to myself and Owen. We will be back very shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back. AFC Bournemouth Warriors versus GBG Knights in the 2024-25 Optegra Championship. Current league leaders GBG Knights with a healthy 3-0 lead. Approaching the second half. Their close title rivals live currently on Court A, 2-0 up against Nottingham Forest. So that title race is so similarly matched. This round about the halfway point of the season as a whole. So still so much football to be played as Oscar Smedley just fires it up the court. Just to go through the teams in their entirety, with only 4 players at their disposal. Unchanged from AFC Bournemouth Warriors: Dakota Hannam, Ryan Skinner, Roxy Berry and Adam Sevenoaks. And for GBG Knights, Jack Ewins, Oscar Smedley, Kai Shah and George Holloway. George Holloway with an attempt there. You spoke about Jack Ewins playing against his former side. The same can be applied to George Holloway as well, former AFC Bournemouth Warriors player.
That's one I never knew.
Out of danger from Dakota Hannam.
Not for long.
Brilliant pass from Oscar Smedley. Almost deserved an assist. But good defensive work from AFC Bournemouth Warriors. Out of danger from Ryan Skinner.
Geographically, there's quite a big difference from Bournemouth to where GBG Knights are based.
But the closest of all of their opposition.
Yes.
Relatively speaking, that is. As Kai Sharp puts it into the path of George Holloway. Yeah, our championship teams are spread far and wide across the country. AFC Bournemouth Warriors, of course, the most southern team of the 12 competing. If you're going up the country, then you're looking at GBG Knights, and then it's probably you have to get to Muscle Warriors around Watford, and then it's the Midlands. So,
and then Pride of Place, North East.
The North East. North East not currently in the race for the title though, so it must mean that the Southerners are doing something right.
Yeah. We have to let them have something, you know, every now and then.
Smedley into Kai Shah. Happy to let that roll out of play. They're so excellent at their utilisation of set pieces that they sometimes
would rather.
Yeah, they facilitate it. They play the ball off opposition players to win themselves them set pieces. Shah, off of Dakota Hannam. Smedley, over to Kai Shah. Didn't quite meet George Holloway, but as was the case in the first half, any relentless attacking pressure from GBG Knights.
Desperate to grab assist number 16, Oscar Smedley.
Might get it here. George Holloway attempts an effort over to Kai Shah. Really well worked set piece. So many set pieces being scored in game week 3 of the competition. Kai Shah will go down as the goal scorer. George Holloway adds an assist to his name. AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 4. George Holloway on 8 assists now, so considering his goals as well, he's on 22 goal contributions, which averages 2 per game, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a great stat to have when you're an attacking player especially.
But another goal for Kai Shah in this one would not only be his hat-trick, it would also put him onto double digits for the 24-25 campaign. Ryan Skinner just getting an adjustment with his chair.
Yeah, I seen him looking down at it earlier. Thought it was a little bit out of the ordinary.
Let's bring confirmation of the current score on Court A. Nottingham Forest 0, Muscle Warriors 2. And as there is a break, let's bring up the top 6 standings of the 24-25 Optegra Championship. GBG Knights with the more superior goal difference in first, but both locked on 31 points apiece. This 4-0 scoreline for GBG Knights takes them on to plus 40 in goal difference. Wonder or not whether Ryan Skinner has played his last football of this game. Really unfortunate if that is the case, having that player deficit. His chair doesn't look like he's got much energy, so he's going to have to take a position on the sidelines while they try and desperately address that issue. But if it wasn't a challenge already for AFC Bournemouth Warriors, it certainly will be now. George Holloway over to Kai Shah, looking for his hat-trick off the front of Adam Sevenoaks' chair. Set piece for GBG Knights. Kai Shah to take this time into Oscar Smedley.
Oh, what a goal.
Another beautiful goal. Oscar Smedley with the finish, just timed it perfectly. If you're watching GBG Knights for the first time, you do not think that Oscar Smedley is playing only his 3rd ever weekend of National League football. This is a player playing at a very high level, and that's kind of a credit to the coaches that have developed him to ensure that he's ready for this level of football. But his 2nd goal of the game.
I think it won't be long before we see him in some form, whether it be England development, whether it be pathway.
Yeah, so I obviously heading up the FA's Regional Emergent Talent Programme, I can confirm that he is present on the Midlands RETP at present, and I will be coaching him on Wednesday or Thursday this week, where we have the Midlands Regional Emergent Talent Programme, and from experience I can say he's a very good player, competing at a very high level, so the sky's the limit for him. As Kai Shah, really unfortunately for AFC Bournemouth Warriors, fires the ball into Adam Sevenoaks. It will go down as an own goal. But GBG Knights turning on the style now, capitalising on the fact that Ryan Skinner has had to come off due to chair issues. AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 6.
They've doubled the score, what it was at half-time in the first 10 minutes.
So open, and it goes over the line. It's one-way traffic now. George Holloway with the goal. Jack Ewins with the assist. Jack Ewins just setting off that first phase of play.
Although it's not really the nicest to watch, but that was a very clinical, well-worked pass goal from GBG Knights.
Yeah, and the way that the season is panning out thus far, I think goal difference could play a really significant factor come the conclusion of game week 5. And referencing GBG Knights' goal difference, now we're up to plus 43, so they've now got 21 goals. They're 21 goals better off than Muscle Warriors, and George Holloway's going to look to add to that again here. George Holloway now up to 15 goals for the season. But if you're looking at the top assists of the 24-25 Optegra Championship, just referencing the top 5 across the whole division, you've got Oscar Smedley on 15, Kai Shah on 9, George Holloway on 8, Rickinshaw on 7, and Jack Ewins on 6. So 4 of the top 5 assist providers of the division are that of GBG Knights players. So they share the responsibility and the creativity.
Pretty relentless when it comes to scoring goals.
George Holloway just wide of that right-hand post, which will give the AFC Bournemouth Warriors a slight bit of respite. Oscar Smedley, Kai Shah and George Holloway all looking to get their hat-trick. A goal for any one of them would secure that accolade. Kai Shah looking to be the first. George Holloway trying to force it over the line. Dakota Hannam just limits the space into Oscar Smedley. Attempts at goal. Couldn't quite make connection at the second time of asking. 8.5 minutes remaining. AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0. GBG Knights 7. So 2-on-1 in favour of the league leaders. Indirect. Reece Mallett will be itching to get back on. Oscar Smedley to take. No doubt the side of George Holloway will be the target. Over to Kai Shah instead, who just can't quite make connection.
Not quite getting the rub of the green, Oscar Smedley.
Ewins. Next up on Court B, Teesside Steel versus Leeds Dynamos. Should be a fantastic game. Substitute, we'll see Reece Mallett come on in place of George Holloway. So unless he's able to re-enter the action, he'll have to go with just a brace for this one. A hat-trick will evade him, but he is leading the way as top goal scorer of the Championship division, so it won't concern him too greatly.
Are either of these still in the cup? That'll be drawn later on.
Yep, GBG Knights still in the cup. All of those unaware. The third round draw of the John Good Group WFA Cup will be conducted at the conclusion of today's Championship fixtures. That will be across the WFA's YouTube and Facebook. So Reece Mallett looking to add an early goal since his introduction, just unable to do so. But will be obviously the third round draw introduces the Premiership teams to the competition. We still have a north-south divide, so we have 8 teams in the north, 8 teams in the south. As Oscar Smedley, not sure what his intention there was, whether it was to go for goal or provide hit on a plate for Kai Shah, but either way, it rolls out of play to the relief of Dakota Hannum. But yeah, as mentioned, we're going to have 4 fixtures in both the north and the south, and the winners of those will progress to the Derby Arena quarter-final and semi-final showcase day. A brilliant date in the WFA calendar, May the 11th this year. A very impressive venue to host power chair football.
Yeah, I was away last year, but I enjoyed watching it on the stream. Looked very impressive.
Kai Shah, cross to Reese Mallet. Blocked by Adam Sevenoaks. Oxford Smedley recycles. Blocked by Sevenoaks once again. I really hope Bournemouth can address that issue to Ryan Skinner's chair. They have another fixture today, scheduled for 4:30 against Sale United, so I hope that can be all addressed by then and they can go into that one with 4 players at their disposal. Four minutes or so remaining. Muscle Warriors still 2 goals up against Nottingham Forest on Court A. Did I miss a goal?
I think so. I must have missed that one as well. I just seen the ball getting carried by Lee Brennan back to the halfway line. Worth noting as well, George Holloway coming on for Oscar Smedley.
So Oscar Smedley was the goal scorer. Apologies for missing that one. But that does mean that he gets his hat-trick before leaving the court. Congratulations to him. George Holloway back on. He himself will be looking for a hat-trick. Final 2.5 minutes. Another indirect free kick for GBG Knights.
Pushed everyone off.
When they've only got 3 players, it affords GBG Knights that option. And they're being fairly relentless in this one. Ewins into Shah. Dakota Hannum and Adam Sevenoaks desperately trying to prevent GBG Knights from registering their 9th goal of the game. Jack Ewins finds a way to squeeze it through the AFC Bournemouth Warriors defence. Been a really difficult game for AFC Bournemouth Warriors.
Second half, since Ryan Skinner's chair's wrapped in. Hope they just don't lose confidence after this one.
Yeah, as already mentioned, they play Sale United today at 4:30. Tomorrow, tough opening game against Teesside Steel. They'll be looking at that final fixture of game week 3 against Manchester City as their best opportunity to get some points.
But even Man City have have improved.
Man City and Nottingham Forest, I think, have come leaps and bounds over what we saw last season, which is really promising to see. I hope we can see a comparable development from AFC Bournemouth Warriors in the weeks and seasons to come.
And we've had a brief winter break as well, so it'll be interesting. I've not seen them play yet, so.
Final 30 seconds. Oh, player of the match, please.
Player of the match. It's a difficult one, but I'm gonna have to give it to Ewins at the back. Just playing so attacking as a goalkeeper, it's difficult, but he's kept a clean sheet. I know Bournemouth have only had 3 players for a big majority of the second half, but he's been so good in the attacking side of things as a goalkeeper, taking the corners, taking the set pieces, and just umphing the ball accurately as well, which is something that's a hard skill to do. It's alright hitting the ball, but to hit it accurately, it's ever so harder. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Ewins.
Yeah, great player, having a fantastic season. You could mention any one of those GBG Knights players as the standout performer of this game. Shout out to Oscar Smedley with the hat-trick. Kai Shah has had an influence on this game, as he always seems to do, deep into additional time. Lee Brennan is looking at his watch.
One last time, maybe.
Difficult 40-minute fixture for AFC Bournemouth Warriors. I hope, firstly, that they can address that issue to Ryan Skinner's chair. They can regroup ahead of that Sale United fixture at 4:30. That sees the game done. AFC Bournemouth Warriors 0, GBG Knights 9. Thank you to all that have tuned in, to myself and Owen. Next up on Court B, a fantastic fixture. Teesside Steel versus Leeds Dynamos. Catch you all soon.